in her own essence. I reached an arm around her, pulled her close, and kissed the top of her head. Thankfully, she didn't push me away. "What do you have planned for today?" "Mama can take you up the road for a burger if you want. She told me last night she was at Jack and Max the other day, and her onion burger wasn't up to snuff. I think she wants to talk to them about it." I elbowed Evan. She didn't like going anywhere with Mama alone. I knew how to rein in my mother when she got scrappy, but Evan, for all her unconventional ways, never wanted to be disrespectful. Not too much, anyway. "Ruth's coming over later, and we're going down to the icebox to swim, if that's okay." I nodded. I wanted to ask if anyone else was going with them, any boys, any older kids, but at 14, Evan was wiser than her years, an old soul. Her track record told me she wouldn't get into trouble, and I trusted her. It was the path I'd chosen. Trust her until she did something to break the trust. We both knew that was the deal. Glory Road, all of Perry really, was about as safe as a room full of cotton balls, but I still felt nervous any time Evan left my sight. She and Mama were all I had. "That's fine. Just don't forget your phone. I want you to be able to call me if you need me." Evan must have been the only teenager in the country, in the world maybe, who was averse to smartphones. She said they made kids stupid. It was hard to argue with that. "You mean you want to be able to check up on me?" "I won't do that. I know you hate it, but you'll understand one day. I know. She stood and reached her arms over her head in a big stretch and a yawn. "I'll understand when I'm a parent. 1,000,000 years from now." It only feels that way. Evan was just 10 years younger than I'd been when I had her. 10 years. A blink. Sometimes it felt like only yesterday that I sat on Mom and Daddy's porch, rocking on the swing, killing time before going to the icebox with friends. I raised my head when the sound of a car roaring down the road made it to the porch. In my peripheral vision, I saw Evan look up, too. We heard rocks spitting out from under the tires and the soft whoosh of red dust before we could actually see anything. I knew every car that drove past our home and my garden shop, twig, right next door. Anyone who drove on by, deeper into the tunnel of pines and oaks down Glory Road, belonged there and had likely lived there most of my life. This wasn't one of those cars, yet I still knew it. It was just an image, an intangible picture that occasionally floated back to me in soft threads of memory. Funny how a car can be familiar after nearly 20 years. It was an old Jeep Grand Wagoneer, blue with brown paneling. The sensations came back in a rush, the softness of the leather seats, the armor-all shine of the dash, and the scent, a mix of gasoline, fresh pine, and lemons. I closed my eyes, and the years peeled back. I could smell, see, and feel it all. Ben used to work on the Jeep every weekend. It was old even back then. I used to joke with him that he was fighting a losing battle, but he was determined to keep it running smooth until it took its last breath. The Jeep drove a little too fast, and music spilled from the open windows. I couldn't name the band or the song, but the rhythm thumped in my chest, making it ache, but not from pain, exactly. A boy sat in the passenger seat, his arm out the window, his dark hair whipping in the breeze. "That's him," Evan said behind me. Her words registered, but I was still focused on the music and the memories. Eyes still closed. I didn't answer. "Did you see the guy in the passenger seat? That was the guy from school." "Mom, what are you doing?" I opened my eyes and shook my head to clear the fog. "Nothing, nothing." I leaned out to catch a last glimpse of the Jeep, but it was gone. All that remained was a haze of dust in the road. "What guy from school?" "I stood next to him in line yesterday when I went to pick up my registration packet." She shrugged. "His name's Nick. He's new, or at least he wasn't at the middle school. He's a little older, I think, and different." I turned to Evan. Her big blue eyes held a faraway gaze. "What does that mean?" "I don't know. He just stuck out a little. He wore a black T-shirt for one, and he was listening to music on his phone the whole time we were in line." I studied my daughter. "How do you know it was music?" "His head was moving a little like, I don't know." She shrugged again.